Hello everybody and welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Noki and you're here for a very special video on ProfNoki. First of all, I wanted to give a very special thank you to not only you guys for clicking on this video, but also to one of my absolute favorite Poketubers of all time, Keeper Toby. He was the one who originally tagged myself and many others in his original Wants to Battle video, where he outlined all of these questions for us content creators to answer to help us connect with you, our viewers, a little bit more closely. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Keeper Toby, I would highly suggest you head over to his channel after you watch this video and make sure you subscribe, as he comes out with some really fantastic weekly content all revolving around Pokemon. In fact, as you'll actually see throughout my answers in the contents of this video, Keeper Toby was actually one of the original inspirations for why I made this channel to begin with. So without further ado, let's jump right into the questions that Keeper Toby outlined in his Wants to Battle 2020 video, starting with number 1. Why did you choose your YouTube name? So for the answer to this one, it's a little bit multifaceted, as it kind of came to me over time and through many different areas of experience in my life. Starting with the professor aspect, which kind of links back to pretty much my entire life, as I've always been somebody who loves to spread wisdom and knowledge and the information that I've learned onto others. And many people have always said that I should have went on to be a professor. And if it isn't obvious by now, one of the areas growing up that I probably had the most passion for was definitely Pokemon. And because of that, a lot of my friends used to call me a Pokemon professor, prattling on for hours upon hours about different aspects of Pokemon lore and statistics and gameplay. Then fast forward to when I had children of my own and they grew to the age where they could fully enjoy and understand Pokemon, I was very excited to introduce it to them and show them all the magical world that is Pokemon. As I'm somebody who absolutely loves to create, I came up with a game that we could all play together that I called Dice, the product of which you can actually check out here on my channel, where we present many of our dice battles. And ultimately, after my family had an absolute blast with this game, I knew that I needed to share it with anybody and everybody who would want to enjoy it. And of course, I figured what better place to do that than right here on YouTube, where there's already such a thriving Pokemon community. I knew right from the get-go that I wanted Professor to be part of the overall branding of my channel. However, my real name absolutely has nothing to do with trees or plants, so I went on the search for absolutely anything I could find pertaining to dice or games that also involves plants. Preferably a tree, of course, of which I actually ended up finding a tree that is referred to as the gambling tree. And although of course dice has absolutely nothing to do with gambling in general, you do use dice for many of the different games in which you gamble on. So even though it's a loose stretch, I figured, hey, this works. And this tree was called the Noki, of which I felt like was the absolute perfect name for my overall character and for my channel. Interestingly enough, going back and doing research for this very video, in order to get a picture of this tree, I've discovered that I actually cannot find this absolutely anywhere. And the only references really to this at all are the things that I myself have created and put up in the last 6 months, so that's very interesting to consider. I mean, Mandela effect, anybody? Either way, I absolutely love the name of my channel overall and all the different branding that I've created for it. And obviously this means that Noki is not my real name. So if you're actually interested in learning what that might be, I suggest you follow me in all of my social accounts listed down below. And next up for question number 2, where Keeper Toby asks, what is your favorite Pokemon game? And honestly, this is probably going to be one of the most difficult questions on this entire list, as it's going to sound a little cliche here, but I absolutely love every single one of the main core RPG Pokemon games. I mean, can I honestly choose all of the above, or am I going to be criticized as just another Pokemon fanboy who doesn't see anything wrong with the games at all? I mean, honestly, there are plenty of things about specific games that I can outline and very well specifically detail that I actually enjoy more than others. However, when it comes down to it, there has not been a single Pokemon game in any of the generations that I can say I disliked or I had a bad time playing. And I know it's not a very popular opinion overall, but I would say Pokemon Sword and Shield very well might be my favorite Pokemon games of all time, as I honestly don't feel like we've really seen the end of everything that they have in store for us, not only through these future passes, but ultimately what they've done to the Pokemon franchise on a whole, and what the future of Pokemon will now look like because of these games. Though other highlights from the nostalgia of my Pokemon experience would include Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Platinum, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and I absolutely cannot forget the original core games that started it all, that I grew up with from the very beginning of the Poke Fever here in America. I absolutely love and commend the Pokemon Company throughout the years for taking our beloved franchise and growing it into something much greater than it's ever been before, that allows players from all walks of life to enjoy these games. Then for question number 3, where he asks, what is your favorite evil team in Pokemon? And of course, I'm gonna go with Team Snooze. I cannot help but love this idea. It's such a cool concept of having an evil team that wants to dominate the world with minimum effort and actually help everybody by just relaxing and having a good time. Though as far as officially licensed evil teams are considered, I would probably have to go with Team Aqua and Team Magma. And I would ultimately select these teams because they were the very first that were developed that carried a grandiose agenda to change the world for all Pokemon. Even more so when you consider future generations of evil teams, it seems like Team Aqua and Magma had the purest of intentions, an honest reset button that would start everything back from scratch and allow only the strong of everybody and everything to survive. Of course, Team Rocket will always hold a special place in my heart for all the nostalgia of battling them year after year after year after year. Though, in my honest opinion, I've always considered them as little more than street thugs, much like Team Skull, though they have a lot more structure and actual direction. Next up for question number 4, where he asks, what should my viewers expect from me in the following year? And I tell you what, I am very excited for the coming year, as I do fully believe this is going to be the year of ProfNoki. My first full year as a content creator here on YouTube. I started this channel a little over 6 months ago at the beginning of June in 2019. And since then, I have been working very hard every single day to grow this channel to all new proportions. And I can say with absolute certainty that looking ahead to this year, there are going to be some amazing things coming your way. Obviously, you've already all been seeing a lot of the upgrades that I've been bringing to my channel in both the logos and marketing, the branding, the merchandise, and even my intros. I can also commit to my viewers that I'm going to continue making the highest quality videos that I am capable of and uploading every single day so that there is always something on my channel for you to enjoy. I will also continue to be an active member of my own community and respond back to every single one of your comments on all of my videos. Not to mention, if you follow along in my social accounts, or especially join my Discord server, you'll have access to talk to me directly, pick my brain about everything Pokemon or nerd culture, and just chat with me in general. And for those of you who are actually looking to support the growth of my channel, this year I will be launching in full my Patreon account that will have very special rewards for those of you who subscribe. Which actually leads perfectly into question number 5, which is, why did I start this channel to begin with? And very simply put, I started this channel out of a love and passion for Pokemon and gaming and nerd culture in general. Of course, at the very core of it all has always been Pokemon, a franchise that provided me as a child an escape from reality just to get away for a while and experience a world like never before. Not only that, but it actually provided me the opportunity to be part of a community that is far greater than myself and actually includes people from all walks of life. Now, for what led me to actually launch this channel, we have to go back a couple of years where I started watching a number of different Poketubers here on YouTube. You know, the more popular ones like Keeper Toby, Loxton and Noggin, A-Drive, HDV, the Pokemon Insider, Mystic Umbreon, and even a few of the smaller ones like Ruffled Rowlet and Verlisify. I was absolutely drawn into the wide variety of different Pokemon related content that I could ingest here on YouTube, And I absolutely loved the comment section where I found an entire community of like-minded people who loved Pokemon as much as I did. Over time, being part of this community started driving me to want to create my very own content to upload in order for other people to enjoy as well. And since I was the type of kid who was actually sitting in my room drawing maps of fantasy lands and creating stories about them, which I eventually actually wrote into books and am currently writing books, I absolutely love to always be creating something. And on top of that, as I outlined in the very beginning of this video, I have always had a passion for education and spreading the knowledge and wisdom and facts that I've learned about the topics that I'm passionate about to other people who are also passionate about those topics. Which in fact is actually one of the main reasons why I chose to homeschool my children, as I absolutely love to be part of explaining the entire world and how it works to them. So after sitting it down and brainstorming, coming up with a solid plan of how I wanted to approach absolutely everything on this channel, I decided to start acquiring the different components that were required in order to make it happen. And with a cheap webcam in hand and free software, I launched ProfNoki, though definitely not as you would see it today. Hello, welcome to the spectacular and inspiring world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Noki. My friends and associates call me ProfNoki, or simply Noki is fine. A lot more personal and laid back. A bit more of a discussion of the news that I found this past week that has intrigued me that I'd love to share with you. And even more waiting to be uncovered in the depths of the wild. With such a plethora of Pokemon to learn, get to know, and grow with, it can be quite difficult to choose which Pokemon to take on your journey with you. Attack hit. Crook, use, dig. And that's because since then, I have upgraded all of my equipment and software, pumped thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours into getting the channel to where you see it today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Noki, and you're here once again for the news with Noki.
Then this as well?
Yes, please.
Okay, and then do you guys have games already? Or?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just making sure that this is like
a Switch. This is our third
Great,
Switch.
this is for a third Switch. Great. I just want to make sure, like, people walk out and like, where are the games on?
Yeah.
Games, just making sure we all know about it.
To use Max Flare. 17.
13. Attack, hit.
Yeah!
Zorua, use feint attack.
15.
5, attack missed. Why hello there and Merry Christmas to you all. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Noki, and you're here once again for another edition of Fixing the Pokédex. And of course, I am nowhere near done yet. My goal is to transform this channel into a legitimate professional outlet for all things Pokemon and nerd culture in general. To utilize this platform here on YouTube to turn this passion into a profession and even be able to support my family with it. I am very committed to keeping my channel ad-free for as long as possible. And I know that gets a little bit difficult once you've hit a certain subscription base, but at the same time, I don't want any interruptions in my videos. They definitely annoy me, I'm sure they annoy all of you, and I just feel like they take away from the overall content and quality that I'm trying to deliver in my videos. So obviously, I'm not intending to make a lot of money off of ads from YouTube, but rather I would like to provide all of you with content and quality merchandise that you would love to buy to help support my channel instead. In fact, I have a whole series of Patreon member only videos that I have planned to go live this year. And of course, as you've probably seen already, I have an entire new line of merchandise that will be rolling out on top of it, of which I actually plan to try to work with as many distributors as possible in order to provide you as many options as far as attire as I can. So make sure you're on the lookout for so many more things to come in 2020. Which then brings us to the conclusion of this video and the last couple of questions that Keeper Toby tasks us with, which is actually tagging a number of different YouTubers in this video to continue this challenge forward. And for question number 6, it asks us to list a couple of other YouTubers that we subscribe to who have about the same amount of subscribers as ourselves in order for other people to discover them. So I'm very honored to be presenting to you guys a couple of other YouTubers that I've found who are just starting out like myself and are working very hard to create amazing content here on YouTube. Channels like Sprout's Pokemon Nostalgic Card Openings, D's a Gamer, and The Great Pokemon Chase. Not to mention my secondary channel, Full Minded Fools, that I actually create with my wife, where we have all sorts of content from food to music to conversation. And finally, for question number 7, it tasks us with tagging 3 other people to continue this chain going. However, since I'm not a very big YouTuber, I don't exactly have that big of a network of other YouTubers to work with. So, instead, I would rather challenge you, the viewer, if you have your own content that you create for YouTube, or you've been thinking about creating content for YouTube, make one of these videos answer these 7 questions and give us all an indication of where you would like to see yourself here on the platform. I thoroughly hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're a content creator, that you'll take this challenge on for yourself. Also, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing as I post videos every single day. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, this has been Professor Noki signing out once again for ProfNoki.